Man, exciting news last night. The new update for Grimarillion just dropped, so we got a new mastery as well as a ton of other stuff. I'm super excited to go through this with all of you guys. Also, just to update you guys, the hardcore randomizer challenge for Dawn of Masteries just ended last night. We announced our winner, who made it to the highest Shattered Realm, 108, which is outstanding. But anyways, great news here. We got the new class, Runes. The RUNE Mastery from Titan Quest was added to Grimarillion last night. I just kind of wanted to go through the class here, check out what it offers. So far, it looks like a standard mastery bar. So yeah, let's take a look here. We have a weapon pull skill. And I'll be testing these out too as we go through so that we can check out the effects. So yeah, just some sparklies there. It's a little bit of an AoE, piercing and cold, reduces defensive ability, which is always good for, critting. Another weapon pull skill, it's pretty cool. Another arc, so more AoE, you can hit a little bit more enemies. The last one was a maximum of 3 targets, this one's 5. Physical fire, and we got some main hand damage as well as stunning. And another weapon pull skill. And piercing, fire, a little bit of burn. And this one shoots out some fragments. Now let's see what these do together. Oh, that's kind of cool. A little bit of a explosive energy there. So already we've got piercing, cold, fire, physical. So that's interesting. A circuit breaker for when health drops below 60%, so that's really high for a circuit breaker. Oh, nice. Flat damage absorption, which is super critical. As you guys know, flat damage absorption is going to mitigate your damage greatly, especially on damage over time. It'll literally reduce those to 0. So that's great. Here's a toggled buff. So increase the healing effects. 25% the physique, that's major. And then some nice resistances and movement speed. And then on the modifier for it, we get some flat physical and elemental damage. And then some nice bonuses of both crit and energy regen. There you go. This is a summon. The stone scales with player scaled bonuses. We got physical and bleed attacks, as well as some modifiers to damage, as well as some excellent physical resistance for pet anyways, and more physical and bleed flat damage added with a chance to knock down for 1 second. So let's take a look at this pet. So this is kind of neat. Just blows them up and knocks them down. That's pretty tight actually. I'm digging that. So let's see, it's a 4.5 second recharge and it lasts 24 seconds. Just one at a time, I guess. Stone Prison. The prison scales with player damage bonuses. Let's see, summons a ring in an area trapping enemies. So let's go test that out. Oh, it works. It's a nice barrier, which I have more news on barriers as we go through. Oh, this also gives you your resist reduction, the physical and bleed, as well as negative 100% resistance to taunt. So that's awesome. Thunderstrike. Now we're getting into some active skills. This has an arc on it, so I imagine this must be a melee technique. 200% main hand damage, physical, lightning, electrocute, and a nice stun chance for 1 to 3 seconds. This just gives us some extra main hand damage and lightning, and then this enables Thunderstrike to be used with ranged weapons. Let's see, can this be a default? Yep, Thunderstrike can be your default attack. Oh, that's pretty neat. Okay, so like when you attack an enemy, it also attacks the one next to it, because I'm clicking the one on the left. The one on the right is having the pulse, so that's interesting. Now let's see how it is with the range here. Okay, So it has a, seems like it has a bit of a cooldown on it. But that's very cool. That gun must be making those things fly off. No, I guess that's part of the ranged modifier. What do we have here? A Guardian, which is another player scaled pet. Limit of 3. 40-second recharge, and with a 20-second duration, and it does lightning damage. Let's check this out. It was called Guardian Stones. It casts all 3 at once, which is pretty nice. You won't have to try to cycle a cooldown. I like that. Okay. Another toggle. This one is an exclusive, and so we have 2 of those. The first one is flat fire damage, and of course looks like elemental, conversion to elemental, and then a little bit of skill cooldown reduction. And then this one is for acid. So we got acid and cold, and a little bit of conversion to cold, and freeze resistance. So one's pink, and this one's probably blue. Guessing by the thumbnail. Nope, green. Next up, we have a rune weapon, building up charges to increase potency of the bonuses. So this is going to be a default weapon attack replacer. We're going to have to add it to the list. So potency charges up to 115%, 150% the main hand damage, elemental burn. Let's see what else we got here. Some frost damage, some OA, which is always nice. Gotta build that up. Attack speed and more elemental type bonuses. And then the modifier is a conversion. So we're gonna convert fire to chaos and then lightning to acid. A lot of support here. It seems like. Seems like you could almost mix this up with just about anything. Jump down to Rune Storm, which seems to be an active skill. Ooh, very nice. Has some retaliation damage added to attack. A good option for anyone that is playing a retaliation build. Then it has 25% chance to either freeze, terrify, or confuse, or possibly both or all 3. Cold and burn damage. Okay, so it kind of spreads around. With the modifier, you get an additional retaliation damage added to attack. The damage is decreased by 10% from its base level. And then we have conversion of fire to acid and cold to chaos. And then that looks like this. Seal of Fate. This is another player scaled pet. It's 3-second recharge with 3-second duration. And it debuffs the enemy's OA, and it has some fire damage, so I'm going to check that out. Let's go ahead and plug the modifiers on as well. So here we knock the recharge down to about half and convert fire to chaos, and then we can add some poison damage to it as well as debuffing the resistances by a flat 25 to all, and then reducing the enemy's DA by 250, which 250 is nothing to scoff at. This skill was called Seal of Fate. Okay, pretty big radius on there, especially if you're going to be melee. That's going to cover everything in front of you. Torch Rune, another player scaled pet, or at least summon, I guess, is what we should call these. And now we're diving into another skill that gives us resistance reduction, -28 to elemental resistance. And it gives, you know, some elemental damage as well. So this is kind of nice because I've never been able to make an elemental build work. And this one seems to be really supportive of that. I usually end up converting elemental to one damage type. So that was 28 to elemental, type B, which stacks with all types, including its own. Then it has a modifier on it. The transmuter also adds chaos and acid RR. 28 the poison and acid, and also 28 the chaos. Here we have another summon, which is some mines, and it's physical and pure. So yeah, lots of support here for just about everything. It also gives some cold damage. Oh, you can increase the summons by a lot with 30% skill cooldown reduction. And then you can also convert it, which I'll show here in a second as well. And oh wow, that is a ton. Kind of interested to see what the modifier looks like. This is not considered a true conversion, and so the damage may be converted twice. Okay, so basically it's not converted, it's just it turns it into a different skill. Let's see, this is some shield support, it looks like. A little bit of elemental retaliation, energy absorbed from spells, which is just a passive, there's nothing to show here. And then we have a Terrify skill. It also taunts, reduces target's damage, increases chance to fumble attacks, and impaired aim. Pretty nice. That also buffs us, gives us some DA, a little bit of damage bonus, stun resistance, entrapment resistance, petrify resistance, and slow resistance. So overall, what do you guys think of the RUNE mastery? Other things that have changed in Grimarillion were actually Zenith, which Zenith has never gotten an update since I started playing, and it wasn't actually by Sino. Asylum was just kind enough to fix a couple things, and I wouldn't expect him to do that again, but super cool of him to fix a couple things. Most notably, one of the things that he fixed was the barriers. So this is like a holiday now. Outrider is one, and then the other one I believe is Elementalist. Barricade, I'll go test this one and we'll see if it's fixed. Where's that? Right there, yeah. And it worked, which is beautiful. One of the skills that got, you know, quote unquote fixed, or at least I think it got improved for quality of life, was Whispers of Madness, which used to be objectively the worst skill in the game because of the sound effect on it. Just to clarify here, it has the highest OA shred on it. It gets really high. This is what it sounds like now. Beautiful. I also want to point out with the end of the randomizer contest, it's now come time to pick a new contest. I made a straw poll in the announcement of our Discord. The D2 video comes out on Saturday, then the only one left is the 5 Necromancers, and I have a ton of things on the back burner here too for videos such as itemization, crafting, and stash management. Kind of a philosophical perspective on if mods are actually cheating. The 1.1.8 effects on all of the new items, and some other stuff too. So, but I appreciate you guys all kind of coming out to hang out with me and check this new build out. Please don't forget to check out that straw poll so we can get the next randomizer challenge started. I'll put an announcement out for that as well. And until next time, stay excellent.